my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If you are seeing me for the first time, my name is Joyce Anyanwụ. Yes, my people, wahala no dey finish for Nigeria and their problems. Every day one political news or another. Every day there must be something to talk about Nigeria. Yes. So today, me and you guys will be listening to Channels TV. Yes. What has been happening in politics, what has been happening in Nigeria, especially politics, in Channels TV. Right now, they have the House of Rep have impeached. It has been trending. This impeachment has been trending in social media, in media houses. It has been trending where the House of Rep impeach their speaker in the person of Obasa, that they don't want him anymore. They impeach him and they remove him from that position as their speaker and replace another person. And according to Mr. Obasa, he said, I will not agree. I was listening to an interview today where they were interviewing him, and he said, I'm still the Speaker of the House, and nobody can remove me except they will do it properly. I don't know how properly he wants them to do. According to him, he said they removed him when he was not present. Yes. So a lot of things, and this video we will be watching. They will be Shogun will talk about the Obasa and how all the Nigerian politicians, key holders came together to talk about democracy. And my question is that, how is Nigeria really a democratic nation? That is my question, because the things that have been happening in that country, I don't really think that that country is still practicing democracy. I don't know. Please, my beautiful people, drop your comment in the comment section. Shogun will be talking with he has two guests that he will be talking with. The first one will be talking on the removal of Mr. Obasa, which in the person of Mr. Oki. I don't know if I pronounce that name very well, Oki. Then the second one, he will be talking with Mr. Agu, something Agu. So you will watch and we will listen to what the gentlemen will talk about. So Mr. Agu will be talking on the democracy, the meeting they made. They come together to see how democracy can come back to Nigeria. If really the Nigeria, they are practicing democracy, how people will live, how things will be better, which is very, very good. Even Peter Obi was in that meeting. Peter Obi make a speech. They interview him and he speak his own mind, which I will not be playing it in this video because this video will be too long if I want to follow the highlight of everything that happened. So if you want to watch the highlight, you can still watch in channels. It's there everywhere in media houses. So, but I just want us to listen to what the people that will be analyzing the meeting, what has been going on, what are they going to do. So I just want us to listen to them. So please drop your own opinion in the comment section and I will still talk what I feel like. So my beautiful people, before I talk too much, let's just watch and listen to these gentlemen, what they have to tell us on Channels TV. Thank you. Please subscribe to this channel.
To do coalition or not, let's talk about the future of the country, because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab. I'm not interested in any coalition that is for purpose of taking power. It is about discussing Nigeria. How do we care about securing Nigeria? How do we care about the common person in Nigeria? How do we care about our children being in school? That is the most important thing for now. That's what we need to remove. Because what you are doing is that you're encouraging stealing of public money, because if I steal it and use it to win the election, then I get all the powers and everything, including immunity, not to be prosecuted. So we must stop it. That is what is driving the stealing.
That played out today in Lagos. So, in the House of Assembly today, the new Speaker, Mrs Maranda, took over the office of the Speaker. It's interesting that Mr. Mudashiru Obasa was absent from plenary, despite insisting that he remained the Speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly following his impeachment. Of course, you know, China Television had reported that the Assembly instructed its officials to henceforth present valid identity cards to access the premises, signaling tightened security at the complex. There was also a heavy presence of police officers around the Assembly premises earlier today as Ms. Maranda officially assumed office as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. Today's plenary is the third session presided over by Ms. Maranda since Obasa's removal, with the former Speaker absent at the last two sittings at plenary. The rest of the lawmakers, 39 in number, including the current Speaker, Mojisala Miranda, except Obasa, were seen gathering within the premises of the Assembly for a group photograph. Some of them in solidarity, saying that they are in support of Ms. Miranda. Of course, we'll discuss our democracy today. I have the executive director of PICOAC and a policy governance and election advocate, Mrs. Nwagwu, is live for us here in our Lagos, in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Nwagwu, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you for taking me to Lagos.
And of course, one person that when you talk about Lagos, APC politics and politics generally in Lagos, is someone that I consult and to hear him as either on camera or off the camera is, what do you call them? He's a veteran like that, politically speaking. Mrs Oki is an APC chieftain who is live for us again. It's interesting I'm able to drag you forcefully against your will tonight, because we're very reluctant speaking about this matter. You spoke about this when it broke last week. But because we are virtually speaking with you and the fact that technology sometimes could fail you at the last minute. So let me quickly, let's have this conversation about Lagos Assembly and what played out today. I think that is a forgone matter, except politically upturned. Whatever happened with the removal of Obasa in the eye of the law, a lawyer on the program yesterday said it is established that whatever those lawmakers did was valid in law. So I'm not going to take you back to impeachment or removal of Obasa. But what happened today, first and foremost, we saw heavy presence of security at the Lagos Assembly. Are you worried about that scenario? Ms. Maranda had walked into the office of the Speaker with heavy prayers. I don't know why she had to do those heavy prayers today to get on that seat. But for you, as a chieftain of the APC, as a Lagosian, how does this come to you? What is the significance of today's event in Lagos?
Good evening, Shehu, and good evening, viewers. I want to reiterate what I said off camera again, that though I am very reluctant to speak on topical issues these days for reasons that are so obvious, but again, for you, Shehu, wanting me to talk on topical issues should be assumed. Having said that, I would also want to start with a street cliche, which simply says the issue of the erstwhile Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, it's a matter Lagosians will say, OT law. So don't let us go back there. It is, past, events, and let us look forward. The events of this morning, again, I, want to correct you that the Right Honorable Speaker, Lasbat Mujisola Miranda, is just moving into the Speaker's office. No, she is the Speaker what she did is what would be expected of any decent person. The Ostwald speaker still has some personal effects in his old office. Hence the reason why the Right Honorable Speaker did not move into the office of the Speaker. And I think with the events of last weekend, where it was agreed that the Ostwald Speaker be allowed to go and take his personal things, not just in the former office, but also at the Speaker's Lodge, where unfortunately, the event was turned into a shameless and very shameful jamboree. It is unfortunate that Lagos is being dragged into this mess. But you are also part of it, Shehu, and other media houses, where you want to continue to either celebrate or give wrong credence to inanities. The speaker going into the new office, moving from our old office as deputy speaker and into the office of the speaker, it's just the right thing. Now you see our colleagues also going, and what you see is like seeking the face of God, like the Bible will say that raise up your heads unto the hills to see and seek favors of God. And that is what they simply did. Worshiping songs or whatever you want to call. But I think with God, you get things done. And all they have asked is for God to help preserve, grant the new speaker the courage and the serenity to also decipher, and the wisdom and knowledge to navigate the ship of state. And I think it is normal, and that is the way I will expect to see. Putting God first, I think it's normal.
All right, let me quickly, and I know that you are a straight shooter. You say it where it is. Whatever that is not true, you say. And well, like I asked you the last time, I have my ears to the ground, and that those who say to me within the rank within Lagos APC that President Bola Tinubu wasn't carried along in the removal of Mr. Obasa. And the leader of Lagos APC, who is the president, is asking, who is the Dimka? And is saying, also and asking those who have told me, that the man is furious that how would you take that kind of decision without ease by whatever he has done, although he's opposed to some of those things that he said in December when he had a meeting with the GAC, and the GAC are now divided in Lagos. The fact that that decision took place without President Bola Tinubu's political awareness and a go from him, what is the implication of that?
Again, Shehu, and please get this very correctly, and I don't mince words. What has played out in Lagos, it's very clear that there is a party organization, that there is a party with convention. And conventions are unwritten rules or unwritten laws. Now we have various layers of control, of checks and balances in Lagos politics. And what has played out is a very clear, testament to what politics should be. But again, I don't want us to go back. Please, let's look at topical issues that have happened today. let's look at issues that will help us. Whatever that has gone past, let us keep it at that. Let us learn a few lessons from what happened. For those that are yet to see that in politics, there is hierarchy, there is control, there is checks and balances. The event of last week, has clearly shown to all of us that, like we say, tá a bá mọ̀ láàmú, tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe kó má bàa bàjẹ́ láà ṣe ṣe, kì í ṣe ta ilé ṣe, kì í ṣe tẹrù, kì í ṣe tójó. The leader of the party, not just in Lagos, but the APC and also the president of the country, has made it very clear that there is those that are in control in Lagos. He used to be chairman of that council, which is the Governance Advisory Council, which is currently being led by my father, Omoba Tajuddin Oluyole Olusi. And I think they are doing what is expected of them. You recall years back, I was the one at the forefront of challenging and attacking some of their inactions or action. And when they do the right thing, let's all come out to say, you know what, leaders and elders of the party, on this call, you have done very well. And I think that is what should be the issue, not inanities, as I said earlier.
Let's look at it this way. On Saturday, Mr. Obasa came and says that whatever, he claims that he still remains speaker, and whatever that's happened is unconstitutional and unlawful. And you see on the very first day of the week, you see that Mrs Miranda is making moves. There are pictures showing solidarity to Mr. Miranda. And I do know there are a lot of people who are saying, in fact, the lawmakers, I can confirm, most of them were in Abuja. And there are those who have confirmed that they met with the president and they had political meetings, whichever time of the day I may not be able to confirm. But there are those, and you will find out that there is a division within the GAC. And it's a fact that these politics affect governance. But going forward, Mr. Oki, how do you think and hope these going forward will affect governance, and how perhaps Mr. Sanwo-Olu can have a balance and a working relationship with the legislature? The underpinnings of this are far-reaching, and you know it, Mr. Oki.
Oh, very well. Let's start by looking at this issue. And if you recall our discussion last Monday, I said the change of guard was late in coming. The change of guard ought to have happened about 15 months ago. But events of the last 3 months facilitated the need for a change of guard. With that in mind, one will expect that the new leadership of the House will synergistically collaborate with the executive arm. So, because we've had seamless change of guard, and a lot of people have alluded so many things to it. It's a coup. It's not a coup. It is this, it is that. The most important issue there is that it was a seamless exercise, which again speaks to just one thing. There will be fresh breath of air, which will ensure a symbiotic relationship with the executive. I'm looking forward to seeing good things coming around. I'm looking forward to seeing them collaborating very well in making good laws for the executive to implement, and good service delivery for the benefits of the people of Lagos.
Mr. Oki,
and that is what I believe will happen.
Let me ask you, Mr. Obasa made reference to the speakers in the past, Honorable Pelumi, forgotten the former speaker also that was removed. He made references to them and said, look, they were on seat when they were removed. But going forward, and I imagine how Mr. Basa will spend the next 2 years representing the people who elected him into office as a floor member, as just an ordinary member of the House, for someone who's enjoyed the best part or the most part of his being a lawmaker in Lagos as the speaker, as the number one lawmaker in Lagos. So if you were him, what would you do going forward? How would you deal with this situation? It's a tough one. He says he was not around. It sounded like a coup. How do you think Mr. Obasa should deal with these aftermath?
Recall his allusions. He alluded to 3 statements. The first statement was that he was elected by the people in Agege State Constituency 1 as their representative in the Lagos Parliament. He alluded to another fact, that he was not elected as speaker by the sovereignty of people from Agege Constituency 1, that he was elected as their representative, and that speakers come and go. He alluded to another fact, that there's no big deal in being a speaker. After all, it's been elected back to back from 2003. And prior to that, he was also a legislator at the local government level. So there should be no shame, nothing other than for him to go back to the house, continue his work as a legislator. The other side to that is for him to say, I've had enough and I'm training the heart. Let somebody else come to take over from me. Other than that, he should just continue, with his basic responsibility, participating in making good laws for the good people of Lagos. So how will he take it? Like any other human being. It's a comes. It comes and it is gone, Otilo, and it just keep going. Do what you are elected to do, represent the good people by participating in legislative matters and affairs. That's what I expect of him.
All right, Mr. Oki, on a final note, I understand that the GAC members are meeting tomorrow. I'm not sure whether the president is going to join them in meeting virtually, or they are going to bring the meeting to Abuja, whether even the governor, Sanwo-Olu, because he's going to be there. But there are political heavyweights in Lagos that are saying that there are also engagement between Governor Sanwo-Olu and President Bola Tinubu on what happened last week. Whatever that import is, all of these politicking behind the scene may not be what is being reported, but these are conversation and this is information that I gather for those who are in the know. On a final note, the GAC are meeting divided though about this matter. And the last time there is a division. Senator Adefuye and Senator Banikoro, you saw their statement. They disagree.
You see, it's about individual positions and understanding. And the good thing is the two of them are, former senators. Now, it is their understanding, individual understanding of the law, of parliamentary conventions, of parliamentary procedures. Senator Adefuye, in his wisdom and understanding, believes they did not do the right thing. Senator Banikoro came out to say it is unfortunate that for a former senator to have read Section 92(2) sub C of the Constitution the way he read it. Other than that, there's no division. And if 2 out of about 22 people have different interpretation, of an issue, should not be taken as having a division in that council. No, not at all. Secondly, tomorrow's meeting is a routine meeting which should not have anything attached or ascribed to it. Whether the president will be part of the meeting or the governor is not and should not be an issue. After all, there are other members of the committee, either known or known, who may or may not be there. We have His Excellency, Mr. Abatunde Raji Fashola. He is also a member of the GAC. We have others. Are we going to say, will they all be at the meeting tomorrow? Will they not be at the meeting tomorrow? And what will be the agenda of the meeting? So all of these things are innuendos. And let's look at what tomorrow will bring.
All right.
We can then take it from there.
Efo, Mr Oki, Lagos Chieftain, thank you so much for your magnanimity and allowing me always, against your will, force you to talk about things that you don't want to talk about. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure always. My brother. My pleasure always.
Babatunde Fashola has a high regard and respect for you. He says you're perhaps one of the greatest political strategies we have in this country. Thank you so much.
No, it's only saying the obvious. I earned it.
Thank you so much indeed, Efo, for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my brother. It's my pleasure always.
Let's bring in the election and the good governance advocate, Mrs Nwagwu. Thank you so much indeed for, the issues of politics and how it affects governance was at the center of what was discussed today, how democracy can help build the lives of our people. And I read your interview on the cable, and some of the things that you said, it was as though I was listening to you reading it, because I know the way you sound. But let me ask you, how fundamental was today's conversation for Nigeria's progress?
Well, Sheon, like Efo will say, I think you have a penchant for making people talk. But truly, I think the Strengthening Democracy Conference is not just a time, it is auspicious at this point, especially when you look at the fact that the politicians themselves seems to be embarrassed by their own, the things that happen within, even internally in their own fold. The lamentations majorly were, absence of internal party democracy, and all of those issues. But beyond that, the threat to democracy is that majority of Nigerians and Nigerians in their numbers are beginning to ask the question, just like it's being asked in other parts of the country, is this democracy worth the trouble? And this conference is to see how we can reignite confidence in the Nigerian people in democracy, and see also how they can begin to have confidence in the institutions that support democracy. That's what this is about.
But did you have a feeling in the room, and I hear a lot of people talk, the vice president was represented by Mr. Baba Ahmed. Yusuf Ayemi, former governor of Ekiti, stayed there. Yusuf, former governor of Kaduna, stayed there. The man who considered defeat in Ghana was there. He's got a lot of experience to talk about democracy and how it feels when you lose an election and you are able to say, yes, I concede defeat. Although the Ghanaian experience, as soon as you cross the 52-53% votes, you know that you have either won or lost the election. And you saw Atiku Abubakar, who spoke later in the evening and was speaking about Nigeria's democracy and what is next. You saw Peter Obi there speaking about how those who steal public funds to run for elections and a whole lot of other. Do you have a feeling that the political class have gotten it? That they've seen the handwriting on the wall, that they've seen the signal that the Nigerian people are aware? Do you have a sense that that awareness is there?
Yes, beyond these people that you mentioned, there were eminent scholars there. Professor Jibrin Ibrahim was there, Ibano was there, Professor Remi Aide, and the rest of them. So it's actually a mirror meeting, if you like, where scholars, civil society people are placing a mirror in the presence of the politicians and say, can you see your reflection? What are you seeing? The things that you see, does it excite you? And
is it the kind of society that we dream of?
That we dream of. And then if you are not excited about this, what then should we do? And then you have scholars saying these are the things that needs to happen, and these are the things that needs to happen. But more importantly is the genuine concerns of Nigerians about their livelihood, that whether this democracy is bringing, houses for the poor, whether people can go to school, public schools, universities, whether security of life and property can be guaranteed under this, the kind of atmosphere that we have. And that's why I said that perhaps the question you are asking about what are they seeing, I think with the enthusiasm that conference elicited, one of the main tests for me in knowing whether a conference is good or bad is when you are having demands, when people are calling and saying you did not invite us, and this is sad, you had this kind of meeting and we were not invited. And then those who come are using the platform to think, in terms of charting a pathway for. But for us, the conveners, Center LSD, PACA, WFD, and CDD, the thinking is that this democracy needs the support of the majority of Nigerians. This democracy needs strong institutions that can support democracy. This is, democracy will need leaders with integrity to be able to drive the future that Nigeria requires.
Let's take a quick breather, everyone. And when we return, my conversation with Nwagwu, we get to a particular point that you might get upset, you might get angry. But the challenge here is whether or not you know what to do with your anger about the Nigerian society and the Nigeria you see today. Is up to you. But wait until when we start that conversation that will get you really upset. We'll be right back, everyone. Remind you of, lest we forget, the true purpose of public office. Lest we forget, public office is neither a privilege nor a reward. It is a solemn duty, a contract bound by the will of the people and the dictates of the Constitution. Yet decades of systemic corruption and the self-serving ambitions of many in office have rendered these truths a forgotten relic in Nigeria's political sphere. According to the Corruption Perception Index by Transparency International, Nigeria ranks very low out of 180 countries, a damning indictment of the state of governance, where federal systems in countries like the United States and Germany use devolved powers to strengthen local governance, uplift communities, and ensure fiscal accountability. Our own federalism has devolved into a feeding through for political elites. Let's not forget, governance should be about building roads, schools, hospitals, and industry, not private mansions, luxury cars, and offshore accounts. The Nigerian Constitution enshrines the principles of justice, equity, and development. Yet these ideals are daily trampled upon by those who see public office as a gateway to personal enrichment. Let's not forget, public office without a passion for people is a desecration of trust. Corruption has impoverished Nigerians with over 130 million citizens classified as multidimensionally poor. According to the Nigeria National Bureau of Statistics, the civil service, once a bastion of efficiency, has become an enabler of corruption, with ghost workers, contract inflation, and embezzlement is the order of the day. Contrast these with nations like Canada, where a transparent system of fiscal transfers ensures local governments meet citizens' needs, or India, where grassroots development through Panchayati Raj empowers communities directly. What stops us from learning from these examples? Lest we forget, leadership is service, not enjoyment. It demands sacrifice, vision, and accountability. If your ambition is devoid of a genuine desire to uplift the downtrodden or transform society, you have no business in public office. Nigeria must rise above the culture of greed and patronage that has held it back and forge a path where leadership truly means service to the people. Lest we forget, the time for transformative leadership is now.
Yes, sir.
It's just a reminder, everyone, some of the things that we should not forget. let's go back to our conversation with Nwagwu. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. And part of what we wanted to remind our people is that governance is about the people of Nigeria. Do you think there is that realization? Because juicy offices, juicy position, and those are the attraction for public office these days.
Yeah, Professor Nwagwu at the conference was talking about how we get involved in elite fights and not the things that really should concern us. And the fight elite is what? Is about who becomes president, who becomes governor, who becomes what. And so until this realization, when you were making us not to forget, I was just casting my mind back to say all the cool speeches that people have read in this country, all that has happened is the play around corruption, the abandonment of people's interest, and all of those issues. But those who take over from them, that point that you dragged about learning, what can be learned, is why this conference is holding. The conference is being held, is a learning curve, is a place for conversation, that it is time that we are able to come back, reflect, and say, look, we've done 25 years. Yes, quite all right, certain level of progress has been made, but the challenges that continue to beset our democracy are able to cause a reversal if we don't do something immediately. And what you have raised in this, let's not forget, are those things that can cause that reversal if we do nothing about it. For more than 40 years, the Transparency Corruption Index for Nigeria has been on the nosedive, and we are not shaken by it. There is nobody that feels any sense of urgency. But what needs to happen is to see whether, first and foremost, it is even possible to build some elite consensus around what should be done.
So now, Mr. Nwagwu, I'll drag you to one place that I teased earlier before we went on that break. And there are those who will say, look, if you fear politicians, well, your fear may be in the right place, but fear civil servants in this country. And that those who say, go to Maitamas of this world, go to the Lekki of this world, that most of the buildings and the most expensive houses you find there are owned by civil servants who may not in 100 years be able to afford if they were saving without spending a couple out of their salaries. How did they come by it? Go to civil service offices in Nigeria today. The corruption enablers of the politicians are in the civil service. And the people point accusing fingers to the politicians. We are coming there. But where do we go when the civil service is an enabler of corruption, as those who have pointed it out have said, look, the civil service in Nigeria, we need to deal with it. How do we deal with that kind of plague?
So you need to first understand the implications for good political leadership. The first challenge that you have, how did you people your civil service? Through cronyism and patronage that the civil servants enable, that the politicians enable. There's no equal opportunity employment. Okay? Your employment basis is not about meritocracy. Who makes that happen? What does the folks you have right now? If you have a job in any government agency that there has to be a position left for the president, left for the vice, left for the senate president. By the time they finish filling all of these things, most of the time, what is at play is not merit, is not competence, is not capacity. So your civil service is a reflection of your political leadership. If you have, just take for instance, when President Muhammadu Buhari returned in 2015, the first signal, if you watched the civil service, was that some change was going to happen. But when they watched to a point and saw that their fears were not going to happen, what did happen? They reclined back into what they are used to. If we get our political leadership right, our civil service will fall in place. In these other places that you talked about Canada, you referred to these places where you want us to learn. The people who go into the civil service are your best, the best of your best. That's the way it is. You don't go into civil service. First, you finish first class from somewhere, you are brought into the State Department, okay, to work in the State Department. But who are the people who work in your civil service? Eventually, people who pay money, anybody who can pay money, even if you are qualified. Once you are able to pay money to get into that place, then the process is already.
Now, I go to where a lot of Nigerians might get upset, and it's the fact that you look at appointment of INEC chairman. It's a political appointment. National commissioners, RECs, those who conduct our elections. And there are those in that conversation today who says, look, as long as people get into public office, who thinks that they can buy their way into public office, they are not accountable to the people. And who are those who conduct those elections? Yet they are Nigerians, but who appointed them into office? We need to start fixing some of these issues, don't we?
So we together, you are aware, when these appointments, the recent appointments into the Independent National Electoral Commission, the civil society and the media came strongly to say there are people who have partisan inclinations. Who were those who were making that call? The opposition political parties did not join in that call. Why didn't they join in that call? Because they know that the fluidity between the opposition and position is that we criticize a process when we are not there, but when we get there, we're actually going to replicate
the status quo.
The status quo. So the business of opposition and criticism has been outsourced to civil society and the media, and that is why we are inviting the politicians and say, come and take your place.
So now another annoying position is, where are the opposition parties? Because now Nigerian people need to rise and be the opposition of what they see, and they need to start speaking up. The civil space need to now be more active.
You see, you cannot. There is in civil rule like the one we have, civil society role is very clear cut. You'd have to engage. There is somebody whose responsibility is shadow government, opposition, in terms of policy, in terms of holding government accountable. All right? So you outsource that responsibility. If you saw the Ghana election, you talked about, yes, when you go to the threshold of 52%. No, that's not the challenge. The thing is that you have a party agency that is robust. Party agents that can, from the polling unit, mine results for their political parties. What do you have here? You have transactional party agents who can either sell out their party, and even when they mine those results from the polling units, they have no IREV of their own. There is no political party. You are a veteran in election observation right now. There is no political party that has its own result viewing portal that journalists, media can be invited to say, these are the results that we have collated. But in Ghana, you have party agents who, by the time that, even the election was going on, the results that have been mined from the polling units, the party is already aware of where it is going. So the big challenge is not so much about now making the people the opposition. We did that under the military because there was no vehicle to shadow the government in power. We cannot take that responsibility again. We have to put the leg of the politicians on the fire and their political parties.
We have a lazy opposition force
to play that responsibility. I just gave you an
example. Only oppose because of public office, not because of policy.
We are in court because we challenged the appointment of people who have partisan inclination. We are in court. The opposition political parties did not challenge that. They are not bothered about it. You know this more than I do. And so the thing is that opposition has been outsourced to the media. So you are not talking enough. So you were in a door. You are not speaking about what happened. Did you contest election? Were you in the ballot? Those who were in the ballot, who have responsibility to take on this responsibility, will outsource that responsibility and expect that me and you, and then citizens should. Yes, citizens should not just be interested in election. Citizens should be interested in governance. And that's where they are in. So who has been elected? You have been elected. Play your role. make sure that the things for which you promised that you were going to do if you get elected happens. That is the big challenge for citizens.
And I think to a large extent, calling out the opposition today, look, Nigerians can see through you. And that's the fact. Nigerians see through them. Because the only thing that they are interested in, who becomes the owner of the next seat that is going to be up for contest. Not about the real issues, which are the policy, governance, the livelihood of the Nigerian people.
See, somebody is governor for 8 years. The place to experiment everything you want done is when you have the position of governor. How free is the party under you in your state? What was the kind of appointments? Okay? Did you allow for internal party democracy in nomination? Did you organize local government election when you held sway? If you organize local government election, what kind of local government election did you organize? You don't leave power and then begin to make demands that you had opportunity
to fix,
and then use force of personal example to begin to show the way, the pathway. The truth is that collectively, we failed the majority of our people in terms of, because it hardly will you see anybody in that forum who is a newcomer. They've held positions, some for 8 years, some for 4 years. They've been MDs, they've been ministers, they've been everything. If they did some of the things that, you know, they are today canvassing for, we will not be where we are. But it is not too late. That's why you have a situation in which we are saying, look, let us strengthen this democracy. It doesn't matter where you have come from. It doesn't matter what has happened in the past. Don't play the blame game. This is the time for solution activism. And solution activism is to say, we did well here, we can improve on it. We never did well. But the denier, to live in denial, to say, oh no, my time was the best time. That's not correct. Because we lived in your time. Your time is not history. Your time is current affairs. And so if it is current affairs, you have to be careful and check the audience that you are communicating with to be sure that that audience does not have any amnesia, that it remembers and can call, you know, to question. So when you have a conference, the conference is intended to achieve 3 things. One is to ensure that there is some reflection around the executive, the legislature, the political parties, the security system, the civil society space. How we can all galvanize and borrow each other muscle to create the kind of democracy that Nigeria requires. That's what this conference is about.
Interesting. Kudos to you and your colleagues, Otive Buza of this world, the CDDs. Kudos to you guys.
Oh, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Nigeria, my country. Nah, man, this country, where we go trampled. Where will we fling this country to? Anyway, my beautiful people, what did you think about this video that we just watched? Please drop your own opinion in the comment section. Yes, Mr. Oki has talked about Obasa, that they remove and replace Miranda. Yeah, is it Miranda or Miranda? I don't know, my people. So, what did you think about it? Nigeria with their politics. Yes, Mr. Obasa has said, I will not leave, I'm still the speaker. I'm still the speaker because they did not remove me properly. So, I am still the speaker. Why Mr. Miranda, Mrs. Miranda has already taken over his office. I don't know if the 2 of them are going to sit in that same office or what is the problem. I don't know what will happen. Okay, oh, Nigeria with their wahala, impeachment, because of this, because of that. You know, one thing with Nigeria is that when you don't agree with them, you don't agree, maybe you are doing what they don't agree, the next thing they want to remove you there and put the person that they will agree with. Yes, that is what I have seen. No, that is what I know about Nigeria. Yes. Anyway, let's see what will happen. Congratulations to Mrs. Miranda. He has taken over Mr. Obasa office. So she's happy. We saw when she was praying, which means this is what she has been waiting for. This is what she wanted. This is what, so she's very, very excited. And she was praying. When you saw her, you saw the video when she was praying in the office, and the people that put her there were praising her, raining praises on her. We all watched that video. You know, Nigeria, sometimes I will say Nigeria, if everybody can see behind scene, if everybody in Nigeria can be watching behind scene of Nigeria, behind scene of what that has been happening in Nigeria, if everybody can be watching behind scene, nah, even though they dash us Nigeria for free, we will not take it, because politics is a dirty game. I always say it. Not everything, they will already sit behind and arrange on what to do, then they will come now and do what they want. So politics is a dirty game. When you are not dirty, don't even make attempt that you want to go into politics. Yes, just stay away from them. If you know that you are not dirty, you are not corrupt, you have conscience, just stay away. Or maybe if you have conscience, then as you are going there, you are ready to sell that conscience to Nigerian politicians, then you can go. That is what I see in Nigerian politics. That is what I know, and that is what I have seen in Nigerian politics. So let's move into this democracy of 18. You know, first of all, guys, please drop your own opinion in the comment section. For me, is Nigeria really practicing democracy, or they are just, you know, anyway, I don't know. But this conference that they came, this meeting that they gathered themselves, I really enjoy this Mr. Agu. I don't know, this name is too long. Let me just know the last name, Mr. Agu. So I really enjoy what he said, that why they invited all of them to come there, so that whoever, according to what Shegun said, that the vice president himself was there, all these key holder, the people that are in the position in government in Nigeria, most of them were there in this meeting. So they call all of them to come to that meeting. As they are talking, themselves, they will really know if the way they are governing, if they are governing the people well, or if they are ruling the people, is it rule the people, if they are ruling the people well, or they are governing the people well. So that is why they invited all of them to come to that meeting, so that they can see. So Shegun make a statement that even the corruption is in the civil service, you know, than even the governors, or the how did he even put it? He said even the corruption is more in the civil service than the politicians. And let me just say it like that. So my own is that. So I understand, and I enjoy what the Mr. Agu answered, that if without a politician or without a government, there is no civil service. He made a mention that even before you even get a job, even though you are qualified, that is just the fact that man just said. Even though you are qualified to get that job, but they will not give you that job. They will prefer to sell that job to people that have money. Even though those people are not qualified, they will prefer to sell that job to that people that have that money. Except you, that you are qualified, you have that money to pay, you know, because in Nigeria there is corruption in everywhere. I don't doubt even what Shegun said, that the civil service is corruption. There, in every Nigerian household, there is corruption. Yes, there is corruption in every Nigerian household. I believe it, because even as little as a little as shop you will own, before you go there to ask for a job, they will ask you one thing or the other. If you cannot give them what they want, then forget about that job. They don't even care to know if you are qualified, if you are not qualified. Yesterday I was watching a video in I think 2 days ago in a Rise TV, where they show an army officer who was obtaining bribe. I made that video. That video is even in my channel. Was obtaining bribe from motorist drivers. He did not even want to care to know what that driver is carrying. He don't want to know what that driver is carrying, but the only thing he wants is that his 200 naira. If that man now is carrying a lawful thing, or is not, what is carrying is a criminal item, he don't care. So far he has collected his 200 naira. Then that person now would enter into the country, or he will go and distribute those things. They will start using it to buy people or to destroy people. Because I don't really understand what is happening in Nigeria. The corruption system in Nigeria is too much. Yes, my beautiful people, there's a lot in this video. We have watched it, but for me, I don't know. Nigeria, I have said it that if we sit down to watch behind scene of Nigeria, everybody will just be, is it my country? What has been happening in that country? What has been really happening in a lot of video. Even this morning I was even watching Arise. I wanted to make that video, but I did not. I later leave everything like that. Where somebody opened a hotel, then inside that hotel there is a shrine. People will go there as we are going to lunch in the hotel. Don't know that is the end of your road. How can somebody even be sure of this kind of country? If things like this are happening, then our vice president will go to a conference in Switzerland and say, oh, I want partnership. Who will come? If at all, like, I am not a Nigerian, you understand? Let me just use myself for example. I am not a Nigerian, and I say, oh, I want to move to another country to go and establish, or to go and partnership with that country, or I want to go and open my business. Then I have to go for research. I have to research on a country, watch videos of country, read on Google. Everything that happened in everywhere, Google is there. The people put it in Google. What has been happening? Nigeria will be Nigeria will be the last country for me to say I want to go there and invest. That is the last country, because this way that we are even from Nigeria, say we are so afraid of our own country. We are so afraid of our own country. We don't have that mind. We don't have, you see, when you are preparing to go to Nigeria, you see that time you start doing prayers, fasting and prayers. You start fasting and kabashing. Oh God, protect me. You are going to your own country. You are living in somebody's country, and you want to go to your own country. You start kabashing. Oh God, protect me. Oh God, help me. Start calling pastors. Pastor, I'm coming back home. Please pray for me. Oh, pray for me. Oh, pray for me. You are going back home to your own. But when you have finished staying in Nigeria and want to come back now to another person country, you see the way you have rest of mind, peace of mind, like a woman that was carrying a pregnancy, and the day he delivered, you see the way his body will be like they pour her cold water. You see the way your body will be. You will feel like something, a heavy burden has relieved, they have somebody remove a very big burden from you, because you are leaving your country to come to another country. Try the way you were inside the flight, putting your hand like this. Oh God, I don't know what I'm going to meet in Nigeria. Oh God, protect me. Oh, what kind of a country is this? What kind of a country? Can we change for once? Can this country just be better for one? Every day now they say they want to see if democracy will work, if all this thing, every day, conference plus conference, meeting plus meeting. At the end, behind scene, they are doing something else. Anyway, my beautiful people, I've talked. Please drop your own opinion in the comment section. Subscribe to this channel. Like this video. Share if you have been watching, you have not been sharing. Share this video. Thank you. I really want to know more opinion, more comment on this video. What do you think about this impeachment of Mr. Obasa and the replacement of Mrs Maranda? I really want to know, and about the democracy that they want to come together to work and see how people will live, how democracy will be restored, how this, that. So what do people think about this video? Please drop your own opinion in the comment section. Thank you very much if you have watched to this time. Thank you, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye for now.